under NATO authority, not congressional authority, and I don't even want their authorization. He's just there groveling to the UN. And then I love how they give the police the training, the armored vehicles, the militarization, the sniper equipment. They send them out. Day one, they're run by the feds with fake Molotov cocktails out there. We caught them. We found the Molotov cocktail cache. The police were told, don't go get it by the feds. It was all staged, okay? All stirred up. And then they go, oh, the feds are going to investigate local police and federalize them so they won't be so thuggish. When it was pure globalist, Rand Corporation, national stabilization, police force training that's been going on since the 90s and updated each year that did that. Those uniforms are federal grants. There's two different ones you can get. Those armored vehicles, federal grants. The sniper training, the tactics, every single bit of it honed in Fallujah, Iraq, honed in areas of Afghanistan like Kabul, all of it brought back here. And I already knew it before I read it, but I read MIT Magazine like 7 years ago, and they admitted that everything in Iraq was a beta test for a smart grid to control everything we do domestically. And they went on to say that Disney World and Disneyland, and then whatever that weird Disney community people live in out on the East Coast, and Disney Europe were all psych warfare tests run by the Pentagon in real time on how to turn everything into a prison for our security. I mean, you cannot make up how in the actual trade publications that the professors and people read, it's all there because they want fellow travelers to understand. They're let in on all this. When the Austin police chief's in here, and his deputy chief or whatever, we're sitting there talking about spy grid. He goes, oh, you have no idea what we've got. And I go, yeah, you got stuff that grabs all the cell phones in live time. And he went, oh. And then the police chief turns and he goes, no, we don't. He's just joking. I was like, come on, man. I'm not the average idiot out there. And I told Ace of Eight, I said, you're going to lose everything you got when this New World Order comes in. Serve it as much as you want. It's the end of humanity as we know it. It's the singularity without humans. It's the transhumanist eugenics takeover. Hitler squared on PCP. You don't join with this. You don't work with it. It's cancer. We either eradicate the tyranny or it's over, folks. Now, Mikhail, you did find the articles because you came in and said, hey, we broke all this. And I was like, yeah, I know we broke it. And, look at AP, look at the Washington Post. Why? The FBI caught ordering police to not tell people about the Stingray system. Stingray's only one part of it. They don't even want to go to the telecoms now. This has been going on for a long time and pay for the data without warrants. And the telecoms are getting cold feet. So they already want internet, too, because when they do the internet kill switch, the police and the military and the government have to have their own grid. So first and foremost, Mikhail, you need to do a master article on this. Okay? First and foremost, it is a global grid in the West. Russia's putting in their own. China's putting in their own. Government internet. That's how I started to begin with. If they call internet, too, with the universities and major facilities, that's the command hubs. But they're putting in the saturation web to grab all the data outside of Google. So it's a race with Google and Microsoft and Apple and Amazon separately building their own grids. But you've got the feds and Cyber Command building their own grid. The British already pioneered this a decade ago with these cell phone towers that grab everything. These doppelganger cell phone towers. So, Mikhail, this is a master analysis. My master analysis, I mean just the master blueprint. It's their own internet so they can kill our internet and have communications as they wage war against their enemy, Homo sapiens sapien. Because they see themselves as this Homo sapiens sapien transcendent. And they've got other names for it. But this is it. This is a total war against humanity. They are Skynet. The elite believe they're going to merge with machines. They are Skynet. You understand that? Mm-hmm. Just like in the last Terminator, it's a woman who merged with the computer. Turns out it's a human in there. It's them merging with it, attacking us. This is Skynet. This is it, folks, and I'm here warning you before they roll the whole thing out, okay? Now, we've got that going on. That's number one. Number two, yes, you got the secret documents on how it's their own communication network and they're stealing our data. That's good. Then it's a story of how the media lied to people. Alternative media forced it out there, so now they're having to admit it. They don't ever want to have a debate about what they're doing. whether it's drug running or child kidnapping, people that run our government. So good job. I want to show people. We're going to skip this network break. It's too important. I want to show people. Here's an article you wrote in August of this year. FBI ordered police department to conceal Stingray use. That's a month. That's 25 days before the Washington Post. But hey, if that's not good enough for you, Anthony Gucciardi, Mikhail Thalen, November 12, 2013, exclusive. Government document reveals DHS domestic spy takeover with the secret cell phone towers, with the documents, with the photos from the police department, City of Seattle secret operations guide. Okay? And they think you're so dumb, there's their grid. They're not putting in, quote, free Wi-Fi because they love you. You understand? They don't give you free shots because they love you. They want you deader than a hammer. And a lot of you won't listen. But cops, when your kid rolls over dead when they're 10 from the shots you gave them when they were 2, remember I told you. And you keep serving that government all you want because it's going to bash your brains out when they're done. They're going to suck your soul real good. See, I have transcended them. I know their plan. I'm warning people. And my soul's in the clear. Look at this right here. You think you're part of the system because you've been given access to this? You think, yeah, you got the fate of ring wraiths. Okay, so there's the secret documents. Here's another one. November 16th, new mesh network documents confirm police vehicles real-time access to DHS spy cameras. Boom. Exclusive. Mystery of rogue cell towers discovered. Feds attempt to downplay growing spy grid. They need to be able to kill grids selectively, take over radio and TV under the EAS system. Your cell phone's still going to work, but only to receive their data, where they'll only have the communications during the takeover. So they can put up video of me slitting kids' throats or Mikhail doing it or Ron Paul. This is so they can jack whatever propaganda they want and show Alex Jones with a suicide vest blowing up the police department. And, of course, really all they'll do is drive by and fire a missile into the police department. This is how it's directly out of the running, man. Directly. So they can show militias blowing up daycares, and then really it's the feds doing it. It's not the feds. This is globalists that have taken over. And it's scientific. It's a 21st century war, and it's against humanity. They called this grid in the 70s Skynet. They called putting up the GPS, the dozens and dozens of satellites orbiting the Earth. They called it the grid. Look it up. They called it Skynet. All of this, ladies and gentlemen. And it's so funny to them with movies like The Matrix and movies like Terminator and all of this to just be preparing you. They are Skynet. I don't know if they've got an artificially aware computer yet. I don't know if they've gone as far as they say, but I know that a lot of technology is 30, 40, 50 years behind. And they selectively deploy what they want to us. Let's put it to you this way. They had stuff like iPhone 6 30 years ago. But they had to figure out how to deploy it all as Trojan horses and how to test. Hey, can we put out vaccines and have thousands of girls in the U.S. die from Gardasil shots? And when the people learn it's Gardasil, then we call it HPV. Then when they learn it's HPV, we then call it papilloma. And then when they keep changing the name. The enemy keeps recloaking. We discover their whole operation, how they're running Al-Qaeda. They changed the name to IS, ISIS, ISIL, Khorasan. And I said hundreds of times, over 100. They'll bomb some little separate rogue group that may not even be real, may be real. And all these things they're bombing are clearly empty. Nothing's in them. They're not killing anybody. They may recycle some old gun footage or something now that I've been saying that and bringing out. And I'm not saying that like I'm on a power trip, folks. They really do listen to what we say. Because they use any resistance as a war game theater to let us, as they see us as a simulation, even though we're real, they use our resistance to make their computers smarter. Well, let me just tell you something. The ability to blow the planet up with thermonuclear weapons doesn't mean you should do it. And the ability to wage war, psychological, biological, positronic, spiritual, energy war against humanity is the same thing. You have released a singularity path. You have released a singularity blueprint that anyone could look at and tell is going to be an abject, total nightmare. The public is going under mind control. They're going into their own boxes. They're going into virtual reality. They're already being absorbed into the matrix right now. The IQs are plunging. The connectivity, all the psychologists say the kids are like sociopaths now. They aren't real people. They are literally sucking the intellect, sucking the destiny out of everyone right now. They are hitting us with chemical, biological, radiological. They are hammering us with electromagnetic. They are hammering us with everything. But being aware of it and fighting it is your body's resistance. If you don't just try to adapt to the poison, you won't actually adapt. They're using our adaptability against us. You don't just go along with it and just adapt when it's designed to incrementally destroy you. That's a false adaptation. You adapt by seeing it, admitting the battle plan, telling your subconscious mind, come up with answers against it, praying to God for answers, and beginning to resist in small ways. It will create wavelengths of mass movement and energy where we will actually take their attack, and it will cause psychological positive, what you could call mutations, in thinking and thought that will allow us at so many levels to defeat the enemy. It's in the game. It isn't a science fiction movie. It's real. I've been studying it for 23 years, ladies and gentlemen. And I was one of the first people at this level to fight it, so I was given the intel early on. All of it. And let me tell you, the intel I was given was accurate. The intel I was given was spot on. A lot of it I never even covered on air because it was so far out. You better know the people in the system are absolutely beyond being scared now. They realize it's all true, it's all real, it's all happening. Mikhail, great job. I mean, I just drug you in here earlier and you didn't have the articles. I wanted to show people. It's not about us going, oh, we're big, we broke it. Brave people gave us this information.
Absolutely.
We'll just say it. Yeah, well, I'm not going to say it. Brave people gave us this info, and it shows what whores the media are. They know all this. They've been lying, but now they're having to admit it, I believe, because they were already made obsolete. Their lying and denying it existed didn't work, and so now they're having to admit it just to have any credibility, so they still have a conduit to jack lies.
Absolutely, yeah. Last month, I talked to a guy named Pete Mosek from Washington State who actually did the public records request and found out that the FBI has been pushing these out, of course, because the feds are pushing this out locally. It all funnels back up to the NSA. We have all these local governments doing it.
You've been talking to NSA whistleblowers off record?
Yeah.
And on?
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. They've confirmed all this. So, yeah, it's interesting that now, a month later, they're coming out and finally saying, yes, the FBI does do this, and which, it's not really new news, but as you said, the media is trying so hard to remain credible because real journalists and real people, independent media, and some in the, of course, mainstream media are doing a great job at getting actual real documentation showing that the spy grid isn't, a quote conspiracy, and that we're actually seeing all these technologies being deployed from the feds down to the local level.
And even if you don't want to have a cell phone now, they're stealing your data and tracking you a lot of time and listening to you, they admit, listening to you without a warrant. They all should go to jail. But no, it's to keep us safe, Mikhail. Now it's face scanning software just went nationwide. It was already nationwide.
Well, what's interesting also is that someone else in Seattle, they were outside of a protest recently, and they noticed when they turned on their phone to check out some Wi-Fi connections that one of the nodes happened to be on right near them, and it was a node right next to where the protest was, and that was the only node on. And so the city said, oh, that was just a rogue node. But, of course, it was turned on because they were extracting information.
That's right, and we forced it to be turned off by blowing their op.
Absolutely.
And again, folks, there's a good chance they'll come after us. That's fine. We expect it. I win. You understand? I win. I decided to do all this. People are like, oh, look, Alex Jones got arrested or killed. I flew over the flat cloud. You understand? I win. I'm good. You're bad. You're going to go to Nuremberg trials, and you know what's going to happen to you. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Second hour. Great job, Mikhail. I'm going to do 5 more minutes with you, then I'll get to all the other news.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put 2 and 2 together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor just won't quit.
Tell folks how you got introduced to Super Male, and then when Super Female came out, tell us what happened.
After I saw such a huge positive change in my husband, I had to try it for myself.
Talk about the effects.
I feel great when I wake up in the morning. I have drive to go to the gym. I feel like I look better. I feel better. I feel sexier. I love it.
Even if you don't believe in supplements, take the challenge, get a bottle of Super Male, a bottle of Super Female. Check it out for yourself. Consult your physician. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today. This is life-changing.